Welcome back, everybody. Let's just jump straight into this review. Actually, you know what? Before I jump straight into the review for episode 4 of Moon Knight, I just need to comment on the whole Layla El-Faouly, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and the Marlene Alroon. Is that her name? No, it's not Elroon. Elron? No, not L. Ron Hubbard. No, it's Marlene. The Moon Knight's girlfriend from the comic. First name is Marlene. I think her last name's like Elroon or Elron. I might be wrong. But anyway, the whole Marla / Layla controversy that seems to be ticking off a lot of hardcore comic book fans and purists and all that jazz compared to the replacement character in the show. In the comic, we have Marlene. In the show, we have Layla. They're essentially the same character. I'm going to be blunt. I'm a huge Moon Knight fan. I've been reading Moon Knight for years. Unlike a lot of other people who are recently jumping on the so-called Moon Knight bandwagon or pretending like, oh, they've always loved Moon Knight, they know everything about Moon Knight. I've been a Moon Knight fan before it was popular. I've been reading Moon Knight for years. I'm the guy who always buys a Moon Knight comic every time Marvel solicits one, knowing that within a year or two they are going to cancel it and then bring it back again in a year or two after that. That's who I am. Anywho, that being said, I really don't care that they replaced Marlene with Layla for the show. They're essentially more or less a pointless character that's filling a void for the story in the comic and the show. They aren't a Mary Jane, they aren't a Lois Lane, they aren't a Vicky Vale, a Selena Kyle. They are a Chase Meridian, or what's another pointless female sidekick? Can't think of one right now, but Batman's had quite a few throwaway girlfriends over the years. Basically, that's what she is. She's the throwaway girlfriend in a normal comic, but in Moon Knight, that's all he has. Basically, everybody's bottom feeder is all he has for his romantic relationship in the comic. She's not the greatest character in the world, so who cares? Now, I'm not, saying like female characters are awful or poorly written. I'm just saying what this character is. Marlene's not that special. Layla isn't that much better. They're here to fill a void for the comic and the show. That being said, I did read some articles basically talking about how the writers of the show are basically patting themselves on the back for the creation of Layla El-Faouly, even though basically she's just, a race swap Marlene. Sure, pat yourself on the back that you basically created a replacement character for a character that already existed to basically have the exact same, what am I trying to say? Not point of view, not interaction, but characters placed in the story. Basically, you took out one character, replaced it with another character, and you're acting like this new character you created is so much better, even though it's basically virtually almost the exact same character filling the exact same void. Sure, pat yourself on the back, have fun with it. Kudos to you. You basically created a knockoff and pretending it's 10 times better than the original. It's like the people at RC Cola patting themselves on the back for creating RC Cola after Pepsi and Coke have already been here. Congratulations, RC Cola. You're number one. Anywho, that being said, moving on to my actual review for the episode. Overall, it was okay. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I can't say if it's my favorite episode or not so far. Actually, I'll be honest. It's not my favorite episode so far. To me, I think I really enjoyed episode 3. Was it 3? Yeah, 3. More than 4. Sorry, I was just trying to think of everything in my head when things actually happen in the episodes. So far, I really enjoyed episode 3. Things I did enjoy about episode 4 were more at the end of the episode. I really enjoyed the last, 10-15 minutes of it. As soon as the switch flipped, and we were now inside his head, and he was now inside that insane asylum that's clearly not real. I loved everything from that point going forward. The rest of the episode I felt like was meh. Can we speed this along? We could have cut 10 to 15 minutes of filler out of here. And that's another thing I didn't exactly address with my review of the first 3 episodes. There have been times when all a character had to do was say a line of dialogue to change a situation, or speak about something to add more light to a certain situation. Like the whole trial about Khonshu, and Mark was there speaking on his behalf. Mark just had to say more and explain more and say what he's seen, and then Ethan Hawke's character, Amit's avatar, so it wouldn't look like Khonshu was lying or as crazy as the other gods perceived him. Like all Mark had to say is, yeah, Khonshu does treat me like crap from time to time. I do have my mental problems, but this is what I've seen. This is what I know. Although I may not be the Khonshu's biggest fan, even though I'm his avatar, he isn't lying. This guy is lying to you straight to your face. Like, there could have been more in that scene than the way it played out. For me, I feel like that was a bit of bad writing. When you can solve a problem with a line or two or dialogue, or if you have to create, false tension by not doing the logical thing any normal human being would have done, to me, I feel like you're falling back in, like, bad tropes from the 70s and 80s that we have hopefully come a little bit away from in quality of writing. That being said, getting back to episode 4, they did the typical Marvel thing. I felt this episode they tried leaning more into the Marvel humor aspect, whereas in this show I feel like they could really, be taking a deep dive and making a slightly more edgier, darker show, because it's not a film either. So they don't have to worry about the risk of this bombing at the box office because it's, somewhat darker and edgier than the standard Marvel fare stuff. That being said, I'm not shocked that Marvel is still kind of like dragging their feet in the sand about, taking the risk with more risque characters. Like Moon Knight is very much an R-rated character a lot of the time, and they did their best to make it as PG-13 as possible. I can't wait to see what they do with the Punisher now. If the Punisher is not R-rated, I am just not gonna watch. Like that, to me, like Punisher and Deadpool, you have to do R-rated. You can have them in PG-13 things from time to time, but when you're doing a solo Deadpool or a solo Punisher product, those films or TV shows need to be R-rated. However, that being said, you can totally have Deadpool popping up in an Avengers movie and have him just make a joke about, oh, I forgot, I'm in a PG-13 film. Or, oh, this is very much PG-13 fare, I have to watch my language. Or something, he could break the fourth wall about it, and everybody else would be standing around looking at each other like, who the hell is he talking to? What the heck's going on? Etc., etc. But yeah, you can still have those characters in PG-13 properties, fine. Or like Deadpool popping up in an X-Men movie, same thing. Or Punisher, I don't know. Really can't see Punisher really popping up in much other than his own things because of how dark and drastic that character is from everybody else. But that being said, if Punisher did, yeah, sure, you can throw him into a PG-13 film or an event series, sure, and have him be a little bit more, watered down than normal. But when you do like the normal season of Punisher or the Punisher movie, that has to be R-rated. You have to let him unleash in that. But I have a feeling Marvel is might not be doing that or going to be doing that in the least amount of way as possible. I'm kind of scared for Deadpool 3 now. I really am. But getting back to Moonlight episode, Moonlight. We're going all the way back to the 80s and reviewing that Bruce Willis show, Moonlight. No, in Moon Knight episode 4. I would say overall pretty good. Not my favorite episode so far. We are getting further along in the storyline. At this point, I almost feel like episodes 5 and 6 should just be one episode. So I have a feeling there's going to be a lot more filler in episode 5 than I'm going to want. And I'm going to feel like, after watching episode 4, I'm sadly now in the side of the fence where I feel like, this is probably a 4-episode show that was stretched into 6. It feels like they only had a certain amount of story and they put unnecessary filler in there. My opinion is, if you're going to do a 6-episode show, make sure you have enough proper material to do a full 6 episodes. If not, just don't do it. Other than that, or just say forget it. Like this is only gonna be a 4-episode event series or a 4-episode season because that's all we have. Like, if you're gonna do it well. It means either shortening it or having enough material to properly fill up those 6 episodes. Because I shouldn't be watching a 6-episode season and saying, I felt like there's a bit of filler in this for 6 episodes. Sorry, I'm venting a little. Anyway, that being said, yeah, I don't recommend stop watching the series. If you're watching it, continue watching it. I'm just giving everybody a heads up. It may not be their favorite episode. However, that being said, like I said, as soon as they're in the mental ward, I loved it. Everything from that point on, it was amazing. Everything before that, I felt meh. Just I don't know. I'm just frustrated with the filler. They could have cut 15 to 20 minutes of filler out, or they could have had longer in the insane asylum, and I probably would have enjoyed it more. But it's clear that we're going to get more insane asylum stuff, and there's a bit of a... People are calling it a twist, but it's not really a twist at the end of this episode. It's more or less just introducing something new, or it's a tease for what's coming in the final 2 episodes. So I'm not going to go and say it's a twist, like a lot of other people say, oh, wait till you watch the end of the episode, there's this twist. It's not really a twist. All I have to say is, hippopotamus. As soon as you know what I'm talking about, that's what everybody's referring to as the twist. I'm not going to go into much more than that. All I'm going to say is the word hippopotamus. And as soon as you watch the end of the episode, you'll understand what I mean by that. That's what everybody's referring to as the twist. It's not really a twist. It's just, a jump reveal at the end of the episode, like a setup for a next episode. So, whatever. It's just people on the internet these days don't know what things are. And speaking about people on the internet, this is completely has nothing to do with Moon Knight. It has everything to do with Doctor Strange. The new Doctor Strange trailer came out. Okay, I'm going to pause right here. If you guys don't want to hear anything about the new Doctor Strange trailer, if you're trying to keep yourself, spoiler free, just jump out now. Anywho, for anyone who has seen it or just doesn't care, there's a new Doctor Strange trailer comes out. Everybody and their grandmother knows Professor X is in this movie at this point. In the new Screen X trailer, it does confirm he does have the gold wheelchair because you see it from behind. But every YouTube reviewer is saying, we've never seen the gold chair in a movie. This has to be a representation of the Professor X from the animated series from the 90s. Oh, well, I'm sorry. Did anybody not watch Days of Future Past? No? X-Men Days of Future Past? Put your hands up if you've seen X-Men Days of Future Past. Okay, if you have, he was in the gold wheelchair at the end of that movie. We have seen Professor X in a gold wheelchair in an X-Men movie. It was called The End of Days of Future Past. When Wolverine got to the new aligned reality at the end of the film. We saw Professor X in the gold wheelchair. We have seen it on film. Sorry, just ranting because I'm frustrated with the not intelligent people on the internet who constantly keep saying, we've never seen this. This has to be a representation of the X-Men animated series from the 90s. You're all a bunch of fools. Sorry. Sorry, I'm just maybe a little bit more frustrated today than I normally am. You know what? I'm loving it. I'm loving it because I've just seen so many videos where they're all saying the same thing. It's like nobody can have an original thought in their head. It's like, oh, I see this one guy doing this thing. I have to copy it. Oh, now I have to copy it. And before you know it, everybody's using the broken telephone game. And by the end of it, you have 15 videos saying the exact same thing, and you're all entirely wrong. Just saying. Just saying. Maybe do some more research before doing your video. Like, I've made mistakes before too. Everyone makes mistakes. But for this many YouTubers to be making that mistake, that's called you guys aren't really paying attention. You guys aren't doing the research you need. It's different if it's like one person who occasionally makes mistakes and you watch this person, they goofed up or they misremembered and they'll correct themselves later. But when it's multiple people saying the exact same thing, it's called You didn't do your research. You watched that video. Now you're doing your take on it and trying to pretend your take is different from that guy's take, even though it's pretty much the exact same take. Anywho, moving on from that. Sorry, just had a rant. Getting back to Moon Knight. Looking forward to the next 2 episodes. As I said, this is one of the more stronger Marvel shows overall. I would have to say this is probably, oh man, one of my top 3. I really enjoyed WandaVision. I really enjoyed Loki, and I really enjoyed Moon Knight. What was the other one? Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I felt it was okay. I felt it really could have been 4 episodes. I felt it was very much in that same issue I had with Moon Knight, where it was just not enough story and too much filler. If it had been slimmed down to 4 episodes, I think Falcon and Winter Soldier could have been a stronger show. But because of that, I'm ranking it lower. And why would I put Moon Knight over Falcon and Winter Soldier is because it's just more entertaining. I found like Falcon and Winter Soldier was very drab and dull. It's like they didn't really have a good idea for a storyline, and they just threw Falcon and Winter Soldier into whatever they could just so they could have a Disney Plus show. Anywho, it is what it is. What are the shows that they had? Is that it? Other than What If? And What If to me is animated. I know they always say, well, it's technically part of it. Sure, multiverse and all that jazz. You know what? Maybe I enjoyed What If less than Falcon and Winter Soldier. Maybe that's my lowest view. It's hard. It's a toss-up between What If and Falcon and Winter Soldier for the bottom of the barrel for me for the Disney Plus shows. I really enjoyed like WandaVision, Loki, and now Moon Knight. And if there is one in there I'm forgetting, I apologize. Clearly it's not jumping out at me, so I couldn't have thought too much of it, unless it is one I entirely loved and completely forgetting. And when I remember, I'd be like, oh, you're such an idiot. How could you forget about that one? Till then, it is what it is. Alright, folks, you have a good one. Share, like, and subscribe and all that jazz. Check me out on YouTube. Check me out over on Rumble. Rumble is slowly building up. I don't have any exclusive content from Rumble yet. It's more or less me just uploading old videos from YouTube over there. That being said, like, share, and subscribe and all that jazz. Like I just said before, I feel like I'm repeating myself like a 15-year-old girl. So now it's about time for me to move on. Alright, everyone. Have a good one. Stay safe and healthy.